Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Myra from Low Carb Love. Now, most of you know I've lost over 100 pounds. So today I want to share with you just tips and tricks that I have done throughout the years to help me from snacking at night. Now, I've been doing this for over 15 years, kind of know what I'm talking about. I've done I have tried every diet known to man. And at this point, I feel like I kind of have it down. So, I know a lot of you might be starting your weight loss journey. You might be in the middle. You might have fallen off and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I get back on? I usually do really, really well. And then at night, I just everything goes down the drain. So I just kind of want to share with you things that I have done that have really helped me. I have always been more of a morning eater and night snacker. So I would say the morning eater isn't too bad because it could kind of start your day off on the right foot. You can start off with a lot of healthy fats and high protein and then keep you from snacking throughout the day. But then when it gets down to night, then that's where I crave popcorn, I crave ice cream. It's usually ice cream, popcorn, or chips. Those are my snacks that I crave. The popcorn isn't too bad because I don't go for the keto corn. If I do keto corn, I can eat a whole bag. If I go for the regular, like the skinny pop, I'll just have a few and then I'm kind of done with it. But if we're talking ice cream, it depends on what we're talking about. I can have a few little spoons, or we're talking about a pint. So it really just depends. But the point here is that when I am actively trying to lose weight, when I have a goal, night eating is not the way to go, right? We all know this. Usually at night, you are just hours from going to bed. You do not want to eat 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. It doesn't give your body enough time to digest. Kind of just sits there. Then if your body doesn't burn it, it turns into fat and your body just stores it. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So I will say this. If you are like Myra, I won't be able to sleep if I don't eat something. Okay, if that is the case with you, then I'm going to tell you beef jerky, hard-boiled eggs, plain chicken breast, even plain steak, ground beef. Go for the protein. Don't even do veggies, okay? Because veggies at the end of the day do have carbs. They're healthy. We are not here to talk bad about carbs. So I'm just saying that if you are eating something at night, you want to stick to a protein because your body actually digests every single ounce of that, which is amazing because no matter what time you eat it, you're gonna be okay. Now, I wouldn't say go and just eat a ton of it unless you haven't eaten all day and you're like, hey, this is the time I'm eating, then that's not what we're talking about now. We're talking about you have had a normal day, you've eaten, you've snacked, and now it's nighttime. How do I stop myself from snacking so much, okay? Another thing that could be really helpful is if you do a tea and you do maybe some type of coconut oil, MCT oil. And so here's the thing with fats. Fats are extremely satiating. So I don't know if you've seen this just on social media or you've maybe heard a doctor talk about it, but if you do a tablespoon of MCT oil in the morning, a tablespoon of coconut oil in the morning, you will actually go a few hours before you get hungry. I don't know if you remember that trend. Do you remember the trend where they had the bulletproof coffee, like the fatty coffee? It had butter, it had MCT oil, even a little bit of heavy cream. Now you have a coffee that's between 300 to 500 calories, which is almost like a meal. But what happens is it keeps your insulin super, super low. So technically it's like your body is still fasting. It's like a whole science behind it. But anyway, my point is that because of all those fats, people could go hours and hours and not eat their first meal until 2, 3 in the afternoon. I tried it. It definitely works. And that's with that's with coffee and just making a whole, concoction this big of coffee. But if you just have the oil, so the MCT oil or the coconut oil, it has a similar effect. So that's also something that you can do at night. Now, another thing that's really helpful. Okay, distractions, right? I feel like a lot of people get hungry when they're bored. So you have to also just think about, okay, if you have a dog, make sure you walk your dog once you know you're going to start getting hungry. going to the gym. Try to you need to kind of be proactive and like know your body. So if you get hungry around 8 p.m., what can you do at 8 p.m. that can distract you? Or I feel like it sounds kind of funny, like to talk about distracting yourself, but how about like keeping yourself busy? What about like a self-care day where you go take a bath and you light your candles and maybe you grab like, you put on like your favorite music. Those are all things that I feel like it makes us feel really good about ourselves and makes us feel like we're actually taking care of ourselves. And then it's not like you're trying to avoid being in the kitchen, but you're actually doing something to like care for yourself. You know what I mean? Another thing I like to do is make myself like a chamomile tea. Sometimes I'll even do like a little splash of like cream, like heavy cream or half and half or something along those lines just to make it like creamy. Then I love to grab my Oslo sleep buds. I could literally stream anything on there, whether it's Spotify, YouTube, my playlists. And I love that they're noise blocking. So like in my house, a lot of times my family's over, my daughter has friends over, there's a ton of noise going on all around. And then it's just like really distracting when I'm trying to have like a me moment. And these are actually intended for sleeping. So it also helps block any type of snoring, city noise. It has an in-ear alarm that gently wakes you up. And on top of that, it has an all-night battery life, which can last up to 10 hours. And then the cool thing is if you don't want to stream anything and you're just like, I'm just trying to relax and literally like unwind from the day, it has science-backed sleep sounds that are just so relaxing. Even when I'm not tired and I just put them on, it's just like my mind and body just like relaxes. And I actually have a discount code that you can use. It's Low Carb Love. So I'm gonna leave a QR code here on the screen or a link in the description below. That'll get you $10 off on a pair of the Oslo sleep buds. Now, I know this is probably not everyone's favorite, but if you're someone that loves music, okay, if you are like a music girl, if you were a dancing queen back in the day, then another thing to do is throw on some music. Even if you're like picking up in your room, just start dancing. At the end of the day, it's like doing things for yourself that you actually enjoy. Like I love to dance. I love to throw on music that I like, okay? I'm not a big music person, but if it's music that I love, from back in like the 2000s. I love putting it on. It just gets me in like this happy mood. Dancing is a great one. Obviously reorganizing things, going out for a walk, taking your puppy out for a walk. A lot of times when you do something that's more of like a self-care for yourself, you feel like you know you're actually doing something good for yourself. And so it doesn't come across as like a punishment, because a lot of times when you don't eat, I think like our minds just think like you're automatically punishing yourself, and that's not the case. Now, I think if you have an eating window and you tell yourself by 7 p.m. or by 8 p.m., this eating window is done, right? So let's say you go to bed at 10 p.m. I would say the absolute latest you should be eating is at 8 p.m. So I would make sure that I have a really good, satisfying meal by 7 p.m. or so. That way you can eat, you can like, you know, just relax and not like rush to like make sure you cut off at 8 p.m. So just eat your food, even have like a healthy dessert if that's, you know, if that's within your plan. I love to have a little sweet something. I always have a little sweet something, but it's usually something that I know I can have. So I like to make my own pastries. I like to make my own desserts. I have desserts right now in my freezer. So I always make sure that I have foods to stay on track, because if I don't, I know that I will end up cheating and I know that I will end up eating late. So when I cut it off, it is cut off and we are done until tomorrow. Another thing I like to do is kind of like a healthy Reese's cup. And then I just do like cocoa powder with coconut oil. And then I just do a little bit of peanut butter. So I freeze one layer, do a little peanut butter layer, freeze the next layer, and then I have that in the freezer. So I always make sure that I have that on hand. Those things come in handy, especially when those cravings hit and you're just like, there's no way, Myra, like I am gonna have to have something. So just to kind of recap, I feel like if you are someone who is really craving a lot of junk food at night, first of all, just take a look at what you're eating overall, because something that you're eating is causing you to have a lot more cravings. Secondly, Go back to basics, okay? Go back to your protein, your veggies, healthy fats. Do it for about a week and just be really strict with it. Naturally, your cravings are gonna subside. You're gonna have way less cravings, way less bloating, and you're going to see that scale move. So try that out. Let me know what you think. Let me know if some of these tips are helpful. Now, remember, if you are doing all of this and you're like, Myra, I don't know, like I'm doing it all. Why am I still craving this? Then I would say maybe you're not eating enough. Maybe you're not eating enough healthy fats. And you should definitely listen to your body. If you feel like you are just starving, I would say just take a look at what you're eating, because sometimes in our heads, we think that we're supposed to be eating like 1,200 calories a day. And that is very low. That 1,200 calories a day is very low. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not your doctor or a nutritionist. So you need to obviously consult that with your healthcare professionals. But I would say, just from what I've experienced, when I restricted my food and I really didn't allow myself to eat until I was full, I craved so much more like junk food. Not only that, but it wasn't until I actually started feeding my body and really like my body just almost trusted me that I was going to continue to nourish it and feed it properly. That's when my body just started literally losing weight. Like I was seeing the scale move almost on a daily. But that comes with work and that comes with consistency. Okay, so I have a meal plan where I talk about all of this, and I have everything basically step by step, what to eat, if you want to do intermittent fasting, what to do if you fall off, all of that. I have that in my meal plan. So that's linked in the description below for you. But a lot of times when you restrict, what ends up happening is it leads to a binge, okay? So if you've ever binged in your life where you're just like, oh my gosh, like what did I just do right now? Like, why did I just eat like 3 donuts and an ice cream and a burger all right now? Like, I don't know what came over me. Well, that's literally your body just lashing out, because it just gets to a point where you have no control over that and you're just going to eat. Okay, so I don't want to get into that because binging is a whole nother video, which I have definitely had experience with that. So if you want me to talk about that, comment down below, and I'm actually happy to make a video around that, because I feel like a lot of us definitely eat a lot less than we should be eating, and that has consequences that are related to that scale not dropping. Okay, but those are my tips. If you are someone that struggles with eating at night and you're just trying to figure it out, guys, there are a few things for you to do, and if you can't help it, then make sure you get that protein in and some healthy fats. Okay, so if you guys like this video, make sure you show me some love. Go hit that like button. Don't forget to share this video, share my channel with friends and family, whether they're on a weight loss journey or maybe just trying to make healthier choices in their life. Things like this could be really, really helpful. But thank you so much for being here. I love you, and I'll see you on my next video. Mwah.